Phil. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to City Life. I'm Linda Bown. I'm going to be your host. Unfortunately, poor Dan Rourke is sick, so I wish him a speedy recovery. I'm glad he did not come in and share. John and I have both had it, the flu, and it's not nice. It's a tough one this year.
Today is going to be a good day at lunchtime to open your windows in your house.
Yes.
And get rid of all this bad air, winter air, that's been in your house for months.
I know. The weather has been wonderful, hasn't it?
Set an alarm on your phone. Go out there and open your windows. Then go to someplace for lunch and come back and close your windows.
Yep. It's
beautiful, beautiful air outside. Snowbanks are going down. And happy to see them depart.
Well, I was shocked. I thought my driveway wouldn't melt until June. That ice, I've never seen anything like it from the rain. Oh, here comes Mike Dillon. I hardly recognize him. It's been so long since I've seen him.
How you doing? Looking good, kid.
Something must have happened up north, because when I came down my hill, there were 2 helicopters headed to Lowell General.
Yeah?
So, something...
They do a nice helicopter business over at Lowell General.
Yeah.
And,
I don't usually see 2 of them, but something, as I say, must have been an accident or something.
Well, they both wouldn't land at the same time.
One went, yeah, you're right, one went right down and on my way in, and then the other one was sort of hovering, so I don't know where they go to UMass Lowell and then take an ambulance from there. I have no idea.
No, it's one at a time.
Right to Lowell General. Well, dreadful, something dreadful. How are you? It's so good to see you. We were just talking about the flu, and everybody's had it. You've had it, huh? Your whole family.
Oh, there were 12 days where we were passing, I don't know if we had two viruses going through the house or what, but just when it got through, like, the first kid that was sick got sick again, and it just kept going.
Did you go anywhere over school vacay?
No, we got a new dog, so we're.
What did you get?
We decided not to vacay, just having a little puppy. We got a little pup.
What's the dog's name?
Cattle dog, Neo.
Neo.
Oh, so is it like a border collie or something?
Cattle dog boxer mix.
Oh my!
Yeah.
How cute!
Yeah, he's cool looking. But that kind of kept us home a little bit. Plus, we had awful, like 12 days. We couldn't. We had somebody laid up, needing care for 12 days straight in my house. We just kept passing it back and forth. It's crazy.
I hear it's going through houses. My son. It's the same thing.
Everybody said the same thing when we.
Just before you got here, Linda and I were talking about. At lunchtime today, open up whatever windows you can open up. Go to lunch someplace and come back.
Yep, agreed.
And close the windows. Get some fresh air into the house. Get rid of all that flu.
Well, we were going nuts. I was sanitizing everything. I had a couple of mental breakdowns. Yeah. I didn't think I was ever going to leave the house. Like when somebody that had already gotten through it got sick again, that just beats you down.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was doing that when it was freezing.
I was taking like air or
yeah, I was taking one section of the house at a time, and
how about the filters?
Open it out and
did you change the filters out yet?
No, I don't have forced hot air. Excuse me. I have a boiler.
So you got forced hot water?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Forced hot air. You got to change the filters
out.
No.
Yeah. Or they just keep recirculating.
Well, the germs are already in the filter. They're just going to keep blowing around the house.
Yeah.
It's this whatever it is. It's like you got hit by a truck.
Oh yeah.
You can't even move.
Like 48 hours, it was putting us down.
Yeah.
Each one individually.
Just dreadful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you must be happy with the turn of events and what's happening in the country and DEI going down the drain and some semblance of order and normalcy coming.
Yeah. No.
Except, of course, in Massachusetts, but.
Yep. I know.
It's embarrassing.
Hey, just so you know, so the audience knows, there's this WWW thing there. if you go to that website, you can get a text from the Register of Deeds if somebody tries to buy your house.
Oh, really?
So,
Gary
Gary Casella was here yesterday, and we put it up on the screen, and people after the show called the funeral home asking for the website. So I said, well, I'll leave it up for the week. And so if you go to that www.massrods.com, and it sounds like it's a hot rod thing, but it's not, massrods.com, and you scroll down and find Middlesex Registry of Deeds, you can get a text if somebody's tinkering with your property.
Good to
Nice.
know. That's
And
good.
it's
to know.
free.
I will share that with
That's
people.
from Karen Casella yesterday.
How is Karen?
She brought cookies to die for.
Oh, so,
She brings these lemon blueberry cookies. Oh, better than donuts.
good for her. She makes them?
Yes, she does.
Oh, wow.
She makes them just deliberately for us. What a good egg she is.
Oh, very nice.
Supreme stuff.
I enjoy Karen. Very nice.
Well, maybe I should have her come next time when you're here.
Yes, yes.
She'll bring her cookies. And we'll-
Remind her about the cookies. So,
So, Mike, how are the new fire trucks working out for us?
Good. Yeah,
You got a new
that's
one?
one thing I've been meaning to talk to you about is the fleet came in. I mean, I think we have 2 left, maybe, but ordered, processed, in use. They're
So, what do
Oh,
you
pretty
like about the new ones? I mean, everything works. You turn the headlights on, they work. The wheels don't
Yeah.
fall off.
yeah, yep. No, you turn them on and they move. That's a good thing. And they all they all pump very well. They're
Superior to the last one or about the same?
no superior, for sure. The bells and whistles are annoying sometimes. There's things beeping everywhere and lights flashing for warning signals and all that type of stuff. But same
This
as
is low. We ignore that stuff.
same as any new car, though. You know, it's got a lot of bells and whistles that when you're driving to a fire seem unnecessary. But you know, overall they're awesome. They pump well. They ride nice. They turn well. I mean. Mine has a short bumper, which
Meaning what? Sure.
it's just a smaller front end than typical. And we're actually this isn't even our new truck. We're getting an even newer one. The one that we're driving right now is going to be like a permanent spare for. So I'm in.
Do we have a garage for this, or are we going to park it outside?
That's a good question.
Because that's what disappointed me last time was I'd take a ride down to.
Old Ferry.
No, I'd take a ride downtown, and there was always a ladder truck parked outside in the snow.
Oh yeah.
And it reminded me of the Beach Boys song where his Woody's parked outside in the snow. And they're like, doesn't that belong? It's a ladder truck. Doesn't it belong inside? So I'll be happy to know that we have an indoor facility for the spare
I'd be
truck.
happy to know too. I mean that's you know, talking to the deputies that make those type of decisions. You know, shuffling a bunch of trucks around is a difficult process. Like, you can't have 25 trucks in the city at a time because you can't store them, like you just said. So it's got to, you know, you got to kind of one in, one out, one in, one out, make sure that you're shuffling them around and they're all taken care of and protected from the elements. And when you don't have the facilities that you need, then that makes it difficult. So yeah,
But we
it's
have
gone
the
well.
money. We just don't spend it in the right spots.
Yeah, I think you're right.
the challenges.
We got to hire my friends. Hey, my sister needs that job. Never mind the building.
We don't even have a place for our mechanics, like a
That's
sufficient
the-
place for our mechanics to keep a truck in, you know? We have the one bay downtown that half the trucks you got to close the mirrors on the sides just to squeeze it into the bay, and that's what we got for the mechanic. You know, we don't even have
Wow.
sufficient.
Well, whenever
Area
you
for
get
that.
whenever you get new equipment, like we get new stuff, and the guys and gals, they love it, but it doesn't fit in the garage. So, boss, I can't put my truck in the garage. Well, you're gonna have to find a way, buddy. It's got to be inside. So
Are they much bigger than the ones you've had?
No.
No. Because
no,
it
well-
couldn't be, because how would you get down the streets?
Yeah, no, and there are modifications that can be made, but over the years I don't know if maybe a mistake, but we've chosen to, instead of changing the square that it's going to go in, change the truck to, fit the square.
Yeah.
It's to fit
with
in the door.
With the old firehouses, yeah.
See,
Or even the length of the truck. So that's the kind of the case with the truck I'm driving right now is it came out at the same length as our old truck with 1 foot less bumper.
Oh,
They
wow.
modified it that way because it was a longer model or whatever.
And your new truck?
The new truck, I'm not even sure yet because we're not getting until the end of August because we just whatever the way it worked out, we're going to be the last ones. And so right now we have a 2-year-old truck, like a
See,
very
I'm
new
an
truck.
advocate that the city administration should put the year the truck was
Yeah, no, I agree.
on the
I
back
agree.
of the truck, the front of the truck. I don't care where you put it, but
Mm-hmm.
put 2025 on it. So when my great-grandchildren go like, that truck is 47 years old.
Mm. It would look pretty good right now. Yeah, I mean,
We
It-
didn't know how old the old trucks were.
no, but they were 25 years old each at least,
Wow.
And now it's hard to find one that's even 5 years old. I don't think we have one. If we have one operating that's 5 years old right now, it's because
But turning the page to the
something's in
future,
the shop.
I would tell the city council that where's your capital fund? And can the capital fund be spent to hire my sister rather than buy
yeah.
a new truck?
Well, that's going to be the
That's
tricky
what
part.
happens.
The tricky part is going to be, same thing as the high school. We get something big and beautiful. Well, what are we going to maintain it and
Well,
have
Michael,
a
I'll tell
good
you
solid
this.
maintenance plan
The
over the
sad
next?
thing about the high school is they're building a sick building.
No, I
city
didn't even
of-
mean to bring this up.
The city of Lowell
You're
does
right.
You had to do it.
I know.
doesn't know what maintenance is.
Yeah.
No.
And they go, oh, well,
Well, that's the
if
fear,
as long
you know?
as it's maintained, the air quality will be excellent. Yeah, but you don't maintain anything. The wheels were falling off the fire trucks and you were still using them.
So
you
once
don't
that-
maintain anything.
Yeah.
So this is great having new trucks everywhere, but that's the position we're in right now.
Well, if you
is
don't even have,
over the next 20 years, we got to make sure that
We're not going to change the oil.
yeah. Well,
you have no
Maybe you're right, though.
garage where they can work
That's-
on it.
no, that's a huge step that we need to.
Or do you
think
have
so.
to do that yourselves?
Personally, we do regular checks on the truck every day and
Yeah.
checking things
have
that
to
could
check,
be wrong
yeah.
with it, and small stuff we
Circle
try
check.
to
Yeah.
we'll do our best to repair on our own, but we're bringing it to the mechanic if it's anything that we can't necessarily do ourselves, and
Yeah.
and they're sending it out when it's something that they can't handle,
Well-
and unfortunately they're not equipped to do that much because, like I said, they don't even have the facility really. They have one lift, and 2 guys, and that
Yeah. I don't know.
even working full speed, that doesn't get too much done.
The towns
Hopefully.
don't have anything either. I mean, we have, Drake has a new fire station. I think they have a couple of new fire stations, but it's a good thing they have one over on my side because we have no fire station really.
Oh, is it Drake at one close to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the fire station, I don't know if anything can fit in that one. It's so old.
Oh, yeah.
It's just tiny, tiny. So it's a little unnerving not knowing that they're there. But I think I give you credit because every time you've been on here, you've talked about the condition right on, and so I think if you don't have someone like you talking about it, people just get swept under the rug. I mean, the squeaky wheel does get noticed, and I had, like I mentioned last week, I had no idea about brownouts until talking to you. I thought brownouts were when your lights dimmed a bit.
Yeah.
I had no idea it meant that there was no one in the firehouse. It wasn't open.
Yeah, and that's another thing that until recently, the last 2 years, the fire department didn't know what a full staffing was on a daily basis. Like my whole
Shocking.
career, we had been closing companies every day.
Shocking, and I'm sure the public had no idea. They just assume I have a fire station down at the end of the street. There's someone in it.
Yeah, we get, it's tough. It's tough to keep. it's tough to stay present in everybody's mind.
Yeah.
When bad things happen, we're present in everybody's mind, but then as long as
absolutely.
everything's going good or smoothly, or there's not too much news or tragedy locally, it's easy to forget, and but then it all comes back to hurt you, and maintenance and staffing and all that, that kind of stuff. But
that was a huge issue. Now you had a big fire right in Centerville, on Central Street rather. Didn't
Yeah.
you?
Coming
Yes,
from the
yep.
audience, budget in here, isn't there a bill of sale that gives the year the truck was built? I have no idea.
it says it right in the inside of the driver's side door. All the truck stats are right on the inside of the door.
But not on the outside, so anybody.
No, but if you open the door and look at the panel,
Well, that's what
you're gonna
Sharpies
get
are for. Take a Sharpie, just put that right over there.
Oh, John, you're up to no
2035.
good. I can see it. The wheels are turning over there.
All the trucks go in for lettering and everything, right before we bring them into the city. They don't.
EST 2025.
Yeah, it would be a pretty
Get everybody's
simple
attention.
part of
Yeah.
lettering our trucks. I think if we did it.
But nah.
Wow. I have no idea about the trucks in Janesville.
Well, that's the only way you know how old something is. The city has a habit of management changes, councilors change. Fire trucks, they always look beautiful.
Not really, I guess. Of course, when the wheel fell off, that was sort of a.
Well, Cliff taught me
That was a tough
whenever
one.
you fly, if you look at the tail number on the plane, that long thing if you go to FAA tail number, it tells you what year the plane was built.
I don't want to know, John.
I do. I
And
do.
so
I'll
I'm
run
not
the
getting
tail-
on that plane, right?
I'll run the tail number and you find out that the plane is older than your wedding anniversary. You go like, this is an old plane.
Yeah.
This has some miles on it.
Boy, what is going on with planes? We're having a tough time everywhere.
Linda, on Facebook, for years, I've been watching these almost near tragedies at airports. You're cleared to take off, and then canceled because there's a maintenance truck on the runway, or there's another plane landing on the same runway, and it's all recorded. And now with video recordings, they put it out on Facebook. And there's near misses all over the world every day. And my favorite one is Air China. Air China, the guy is obviously, the pilot, English is not his birth language. And he's talking to the tower. It's okay. Tower says, Air China, hold. Air China repeats back what he just said. Air China, go to gate. No, Air China, hold. Air China, go to gate. And that goes on all day in different parts of the world because we don't understand each other.
That's a little frightening.
It is. It is. But back to you guys.
But there seems to have been a rash of incidents lately.
It seems like there's an uptick, but then I saw statistics that who knows if they're accurate. Maybe we could look them up. But that we're not. Even in the first couple of months of the year, this year,
Yeah.
it seems like they're present in the news, but it doesn't seem like they are up as
Yeah.
far as plane crashes or incidents, or it seems like we're on pace or below, like a typical year,
Well, then we'll.
which is funny to
Here,
think
yeah.
about
Yeah.
because right now it seems like every plane that, it seems like
Every
1 out of
time, yeah.
10 planes are going down because of the way
Right.
that it's being covered. But maybe that isn't necessarily true.
And maybe, as he says, it's a language thing, or, maybe it's not the people in the tower. Tingsville just received a well, thank you for letting me know that. That's good to know that. Well, that's obviously in the center of
Are
town.
you going to put the year on your truck?
Well, yes,
I doubt
I'll
it.
put that
Throw it out there.
into Wes's ear at Sportsman's Club, because he usually sits with us at the table. So, oh, by the way, would like to see the year. May work. Maybe we'll set an example, John.
Yeah, because it gets embarrassing. In the 4th of July parade, you'd have a 1934 fire truck.
Well, now's the time because you're not going to, once it gets a few years old, you're not going to get them to do it.
No. No.
It
might
should-
happen when it's new. You might
Should
get
be
them to put it
now.
on there.
And
Yeah.
when you put a 1935 truck in the parade, you go like, that's embarrassing. The people will see this. The people,
The people.
the taxpayers.
Hey, 3 years ago when we got the brand new truck in the city, we brought Engine 7 downtown to the parade. Never been in the parade before, but it was the only new truck in the whole city. So we were in the parade that year.
That's funny.
It makes sense, but it was just funny. That day, we had no idea. We got called, hey, head downtown and station at, we're like, we're not in the parade. What are you talking
I would
about?
have combed my hair
You're
had I known.
Oh, we got a new truck. Funny.
But the city has been pretty lucky this year on fires, it seems,
Yeah.
except for that one
Firefighters, I gotta tip
on
the cap.
Central.
You
We had
guys,
a good one the other day.
bam, you guys are firefighters. You're not cellar savers. You guys fight the fire.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was tough, that one.
The towns say don't call Lowell because they'll go in the building.
They like when we show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to go in the other day, right out here, Central Street, early in the morning.
Were you working?
Yeah, yep. I didn't go until third alarm, so I didn't. But we got some work in. But we had a lot of companies on scene.
In
A lot
your
of
mind,
manpower.
was it just that one unit or?
It seemed to be 2 units, maybe side by side. Basement mostly, first floor. But it's hard to find. Those buildings are
Yes.
going from Central Street through to the back alley. Probably with 100% visibility, it'd be difficult to make your way.
Yeah.
And find how to get into the basement, and with all the nooks and crannies and the way the building's set up, and so with zero visibility and smoke everywhere, it was tough just to find the fire. So I was at the firehouse listening to it for a short while before we got called, because we were further away.
So your infrared stuff not working? Don't use it?
No, it works, but it's limited still, and it's like looking down at your phone and trying to navigate, and you're still looking at a small screen, and that helps big time. I mean, I was using it because you can't see a thing, and the best thing about the newer ones is it has the temperature on it, so I can.
Oh, okay. So if it's 500 degrees, you go, oh boy.
I'm always looking up at the ceiling. Yeah, I'm looking at all the corners and up at the ceiling, and you start seeing a couple hundred degrees.
So
And
all the firemen have. So it's like on your phone, or?
right on our pack.
Okay.
So we have like the backpack with our air bottle on it.
So
And
everybody
there's,
has one, or just you?
No, everybody does now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, in the past we just got new packs probably 3, 4, maybe 5 years ago now. And
Put the year on them.
They all have them. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, so so at any time, right down on the side, like the right strap on our pack, we can kind of lift it up, and it's not convenient. Some of the trucks, like one guy will still have a thermal imager, which is like a better one that you can hold in your hand and view. And these ones are kind of limited because they're down here, but you can take it and do a quick check while you're in the building and at least get some sort of little visual of what's going on, and
Nice.
the temperature check. Yeah, it's knowing what the temperature is above your head helps out a lot. You can predict.
What kind of temperatures
little
do you
bit better.
see, like, at a fire? Not specific location, but at a fire, what kind of temperature do you see in a building?
When you're getting a chance to look at the thing, I know, man, the bad fire that I was in the fall.
Yep. I don't
I
want to know the
was-
location, just a.
I was starting to see like high 200s a temperature, like at the top of the stairwell, like right kind of where I was, and then the fire was right around the corner. Once you start seeing like high 200s, you start. That's a lot of heat really close to you.
Yeah.
But you can predict things that way. If it's in the hundreds, if it's like high hundreds, you know that there's heat, but it's you're not going to be in any immediate danger. But man, you start getting up to 200, 250, stuff like. If you're seeing 275, like
The ceiling is gonna
you
come-
know there's some fire. Like,
Yeah.
You know, if you're not seeing fire, if fire's present,
Yeah.
you know it's hot. You know,
Yeah.
I don't need to see a number.
Yeah.
But if I'm seeing numbers in the 200s above my head, then
That's a
there's
little
fire
scary.
coming through the wall, or
Yeah.
there's.
You're gonna get trapped.
You know
That's
you're
what-
getting close,
Yeah.
close anyway. But if I'm looking at fire, there's temperatures way hotter than that.
I know when we used to work at CAP, that alley is not a fun place to be.
Oh yeah, right in the back there.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, it's a tight alley.
Ooh, yeah, and
Not terrible position for the ladder trucks. We had ladder 2 was set up in the parking lot of 27
Okay.
Jackson. There actually is room there, but the alley itself, we were able to throw the ladder right up over the alley.
yeah, it was a bad. I remember one morning going to the show and there was a body back there. It was like, ooh,
Yeah.
very creepy place.
But front to back, those look like, it looks like a little like storefront kind of row.
Right.
But front to back, those buildings are long. You know, it's kind of a long way. So
It's unfortunate. I know someone was trapped in there. And they found him.
yes, guys pulled one woman out, I
Yeah.
believe. Who I'm
And no
not
one
sure
knew.
of her condition.
And that's
but-
hard too, because what do you do now with these? Now you get called to a place like that with the homeless. You don't know. I mean, normally you'd say, well, you know, the owner says so and so, or you know, there's somebody living here or there, but
Yeah, I know.
you have no idea if they're in the, you know, and particularly look at that alley, and they could get in very easily to a building, and it's you don't.
You
know
never
that they-
really know.
No.
I mean, we do the best we can from any indicators of right on scene. The first thing is if anybody's around, we're asking, is anybody in there? Like, you know, who lives there? Is it possible they're still there? And whatever information we get, you know, from a witness or somebody that's on scene is huge. And then also just when you go in, if there's 3 bedrooms in a place and, you know, we're only got one person accounted for, stuff like that, you can
I got text
sort
from
of
the
tell.
audience.
But
It's great. The weather is warming up because I see good amount of hydrants covered in snow. See how sad capital planning has become? Needing to put the year on a vehicle on the side so someone will do their job.
Oh,
Did the building have fire sprinklers? Down to your memory, Mike?
I don't believe it was sprinkled.
no, I wasn't thinking old
It's
building.
an ancient building, I would guess.
Yeah.
And do any low firefighters wear body cams?
We don't. I mean, it's possible that certainly not body cams, but I know, like, you can personally buy thermal imaging tools that go right on your mask, and they're like it's almost like so you can have a thermal imaging component like right in your view, where
Yeah.
you have a little screen that you can see the thermal image of what is going on, which is amazing. You can see like through smoke and be able to see in those type of conditions. And I believe some of them can record. And you can see online fire video. Guys will wear like GoPros on their helmet and stuff like that. But not that I'm aware of. We don't have anybody wearing it, and we don't. You know, the department doesn't hand them out, or we don't do anything like recording necessarily. But it is amazing to see video when we see somebody with a GoPro. You know, like attached to their helmet or something like that. That's when you can get some like real fire action, like from inside a building and stuff. It's pretty cool. But I don't think we have anybody doing it right now.
Listening to you talk on the show at different times, when you go in a room and how you go in a room to see if and that you can see if somebody's there, or looking to see if anybody's there. And I suppose they can't, if they get any smoke, they can't tell you that they're there, right? They probably can't speak.
No, well, when the conditions are that bad, we're looking for somebody down. I mean, if we can't see, then it's not likely that anybody's going to be up and, hey, I'm over here, you know. when you first go in and if there are big flames, not a lot of smoke, yeah, there might be times where you can hear someone, but the timing's got to be very on point.
Yeah.
It's like the fire shows on TV. It's not always like someone's hanging out the window and
Right.
you get there at that right moment to run over and catch them as they fall, or somebody happens to be trapped behind a door that's on fire and they're able to yell for help. It's not always
Not
the
realistic.
perfect timing and this heroic move. A lot of the time, the conditions are so bad that you're fumbling around trying to make your way through just to get from one room to the next and hopefully come across somebody the best you can. And the methods of searching we use are help us do the best that we can blind most times.
Yeah,
not
right.
being able to
you
see
can't see.
whatsoever.
I never even thought about that you can't see. I know my grandson, they all want to be firemen. I sort of go, oh, let's rethink that. It's not I assume you have to, it has a certain level of dedication because it's always frightening.
Yeah.
You're putting your
Oh, it
life
is.
on the line every time you go because you don't know what the building and people. We do the best we can as far as keeping track of additions and people doing maintenance in their house and making up, finishing rooms and stuff. But there are no clues to you as a fireman when it happens. You
Yeah,
have no
no, yeah.
idea what's going on in there.
For sure, and just like that building the other day, the guys that were first on scene were talking about it after the fire was under control, and different companies are talking to each other about their own experience of like, we went in this door and we forced this door open and we went in here and we got stuck. There was no way to go through, trying to make their way from one end of the building to the other.
Yeah.
And hearing them talk about their different experiences, and then you always want to go in after because I got to go see what is really in that room or where I was, and
Yeah.
you realize you were like stuck in a bathroom.
Yeah.
Like going in circles in a bathroom, and you came back out. You didn't even know where you were, or that was a closet door that you opened when you were thinking that you were going to be able to get through or something. You kind
You
of
have
put
no
the pieces
floor
together
plans.
after.
Yeah.
No, and I've mentioned to you before. I think like you can tell just by looking at a building sometimes, like the structure of the building, and when I open this front door, there's going to be a set of stairs and a split. You can guess where bathrooms are and that type of stuff quickly, but they're not always cut up the same for sure.
No.
Comment from the audience. It's time to turn the page on some of the old dusty buildings. It sounds like most of them in downtown Lowell are not handicap accessible or safe from fire. Is he speaking about the firehouses or is he speaking about the buildings in downtown Lowell? Firehouses are wicked
old
old.
dusty, empty buildings. I think
Yeah.
he's talking about a lot of but it describes all the firehouses
I
as well.
I think it's time that we just pick up if you want this historical building, pay to have it moved to your neighborhood, we're putting a new building up.
The historical thing is tough. It's a hindrance a lot of times.
How many tours do you give of the firehouse, Mike?
How many tours?
How many tours? No, I mean, kids come out, I want a tour of show me the old stuff
Downtown, it happens mostly.
at JFK.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Just
doesn't
because
happen
people know that, police
And
station, fire station.
They could turn it into a nice restaurant like they did with the old headquarters in downtown Lowell.
Yep. Yeah, no, the buildings are a problem. Equipment is certainly coming around, but yeah, no, the buildings are, just like all the other old, dusty, empty buildings in the city, like that person was talking about.
Just to let the audience know, the problem with an old building is, just like your own house, there's a mortgage on it. Well, why don't you put new siding on? Put sprinklers in. And don't forget about handicap ramps. No, I don't have all that stuff costs, it isn't like, bam, sprinklers appear in the building.
Mm-hmm.
You got to pay to put that stuff in. You want a ramp, you got to pay to put that in. And it's all this ADA stuff where you have this city engineer comes out and not picking on
Can't
the
just
guy,
put a ramp, right?
and he'll go like, oh no, the grade is too high, tear it out. The grade is too low. And it's very difficult to retrofit a building to bring it up to today's standards. And Lowell's in the habit of, we got to save this. I don't know why, but we got to say, I'd rather just tear stuff down, put it up new. Look at the new courthouse we have. Doesn't match a doggone thing in the city.
It's a nice thought with the preservation of historical buildings, but
Take pictures.
it hampers
Like, can you
progress
guys,
in some ways, for
to
sure.
your knowledge, Mike, and if you can't say don't.
Mhm.
Not looking to get anybody in any trouble. Can you guys go in the Smith Baker Center if it's on fire?
I think it's got an X on the front right now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Then no. I mean, unless there was that would be a deputy's call on scene, and that would be a very bold move for him to send us in there. That X is our fire investigation team telling us that building is not a no-go. So unless there was,
That's fireman English. Translate that to a kindergartner.
sorry, if there was a full X,
red X on the
big white X with red,
Yep.
background behind it, that is, we are not entering that building for any reason unless there is an immediate life safety issue that we see on scene. But there's not supposed to be anybody in there. We're not supposed to enter. If there is a half an X, that is like the difference between like a red light and a yellow light. A half X would be like one line
So it's a
of an
yellow
X,
light-
That
a
just
slash,
seems silly.
a slash, I guess. That is like enter, but be careful. Only if again, it's like if there's an immediate life safety issue, but
So likely
there
if-
shouldn't be anybody in that building either.
Likely
That's
if it's a half X, you're not going in.
probably not either. Yeah, no.
Understood.
How hard is it to get an X or a half X? There it is right there.
Well, I mean, if there's an X on the building, that means like we could be walking in and there's a huge hole going down to the basement right when you walk in. Or, I mean, it is uninhabitable, and the danger for us to even be walking into that building when it's on fire is too much.
Are there a lot of buildings?
They're
in the
unoccupied
city?
buildings, by the way. You're not going to see a building that has people in it that has an X on it.
Okay,
You know?
we hope.
Yeah.
Unless,
mean-
But
unless
we don't know.
top of that,
We don't know
yeah.
if they're homeless, like you
Yeah.
mentioned before. That's the issue with, unless we see somebody in a window that is in need of our help, we're going to drown that building in water because it's too dangerous for us to enter.
Yeah, there's
But
a
nobody
limit.
should be in those buildings either. Is the thing.
I suspect in the city now. I think they've gotten better at it, but I imagine there are a lot of buildings that probably should have an X that don't.
from the audience, historic doesn't apply to the Baker Center.
Is that right?
I
Not
can't
anymore.
speak to that. And who's the best cook at the firehouse? Do you guys watch all reruns of Emergency?
That sounds like a Lee Gitchier comment. Is that a Boston?
Unidentified is probably one of your colleagues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I mean, there's always somebody that is kind of the cook, but I don't know. It depends on the house, like what kind of staff you got there. But yeah, there are some guys that are really good cooks, and then some groups struggle to find a cook. And it's just like the one guy that can happen to put stuff
It's
together.
grilled cheese for everybody.
Yeah, it depends. A good cook's a valuable staff member to have, though.
Do you all have to cook? Is that something you rotate?
No, we just have to eat
Some-
for 24 hours. So you gotta sustain yourself. So it's kind of you work it out with the
Each other.
guys you're working with.
Since Uber Eats, it's a lot easier to just go up and eat in your room.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like being at home. It's like sometimes you got a crazy shift and you can't sit down, and all of a sudden it's 2:00 and you need some lunch, and you're like, all right, let's just get something from a sub shop or whatever. But you can try to be as prepared as possible, but inevitably, you know, in the middle of cooking, we're going on a call, or you end up eating cold or on the run. But if you get in a good rhythm with a good group of guys at the house that you know, each shift somebody can bring breakfast in the morning, and you can prepare 4 meals kinda, and get on the same page. That's nice. But sometimes you can't help it, and you're
Oh, in a
eating
perfect
on the
world,
run.
all those things are nice.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
so it depends. It just depends on staffing.
Now, you when you become a fireman, like in a city like Ole, are you're sent to one particular station? Is that your station forever, or do you guys move around, or
Yeah.
if you're promoted, you automatically go somewhere else? Or?
Sort of. Yeah, all those things you're definitely on the right track. Like when you first get on, you're kind of at the whim of the chief. Like you have a probationary period for a year before you can even bid for a spot. So
Okay.
you don't really own any position in your first year. And then once the year comes up, you get the right to bid a spot. But once you win a bid for a spot, that spot is yours until you retire if you want it to be.
Oh.
So anybody that does, I own a spot right now at Engine 7 on this particular day, and I could work that for the next 30 years if I didn't move. But anytime somebody moves, that spot becomes available, and it goes up for a
Even
month.
if you make captain, Mike, you're still going to stay there?
Nope. So now that was the next point. If I got promoted, I go to the bottom of the totem pole for the next position up.
Yeah.
So I would go to whatever position was available. You know, like the lowest, whatever the rest of the officers in that level don't want. You know, I would fill in that spot, and then when somebody leaves, I would get to bid somewhere else. If somebody leaves, I would get to bid somewhere else, and you can navigate your way to different positions. But when you get promoted, you're not necessarily just going to stay in the same house or on the same shift. You go to wherever.
That's a
Wherever it
tough
is that you
decision.
go.
I mean, if you're in a house that you like, you know the people, you like, it works for you.
Yep.
Because I
But you
imagine
know that when you're taking the captain's test, you know, I'm going to have to move. You
Yeah.
know that. You know
Yep.
that. So
For sure.
I don't have an answer to this question. Maybe one of you guys do. Why was the Smith-Baker brought up again at the council meeting? Aren't they going to put a wrecking ball to that? Well, Danny Rourke was supposed to be here today. He is not feeling tip-top, and he didn't want to give it to us, so did either of you guys watch the council meeting?
I'm not sure. No.
No,
So, sorry, we don't know.
no, I was working.
I'd like to make up the answer, but I'm not going to.
You can guess, though.
I haven't really paid close attention to what's been going on. I mean, I know it's been contentious, but I mean, 10 years ago, I was in that building, and there was water pouring through every crevice. I mean, it's in tough shape.
It is, and it's very
It was in
sad.
tough
Years ago-
shape back then.
20 years ago, it was Lowell's Senior Center.
Yep.
And I remember going around with my friend Gary Balser and Rita Mercia, and we created a video of the condition of the building. Mm-hmm. It was not great 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And that encouraged the city council to, let's build a new senior center. Mm-hmm. So, it wasn't in good shape 20 years ago.
Groups have tried, but it doesn't seem, I don't know why it doesn't.
As soon as they say ramp, sprinklers,
Yep.
before you can do anything. You go, sprinklers? Yeah, sprinklers.
All new
yes,
plumbing.
That's how all these old buildings get that type of stuff. Is like if they don't do new construction or if they do a major renovation, I believe it's after a certain date, sometime in like the 80s or 90s, you can't do new construction without sprinklers over a certain size. And when you do a major remodel, you're required to put sprinklers in. So that is definitely a hindrance on making any progress in that way. I'm sure they fall under a lot of those rules.
You've been in a lot of the buildings, and let's look at downtown. Well, and they're old.
Mm-hmm.
Are they strong enough to be gutted and rehabbed? Or
Oh, the bones, I think, yeah.
do you think?
Oh, most buildings. I think the bones are all pretty good. I think those older buildings are
probably better than,
solid.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, maybe if
Well,
they get this funding.
maybe foundations are crumbling and could use some help or something, but I think the bones of all these Smith Baker Center, if you just took the heavy timber and the foundation, might be certainly doable, but
Yeah.
like John was saying, there's just so much that comes with it.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like, all
the
right, you got to put
baggage.
sprinklers in, you got to make it accessible, and
Electrical.
you probably got to change a lot of
You have to gut it.
the walls and
I would
everything
think.
in order to do that, and
And
you
go
might not be
Google-
able to do that on the square that you got built. Like there's
And make
so
money.
much.
Well, we take this room just for instance, okay? We had to replace the ceiling because it was old. So the guy comes in here and he says, yeah, I'll take care of it, no problem. But if we had to take sprinklers, had to put sprinklers in, all the artwork that you have in the ceiling is gone.
Yeah.
So the paint,
Yeah.
the filigree, whatever you want to call it, all the fancy stuff, it's gone. So the Smith Baker is famous for a lot of old stuff.
Yeah. The stained
But
glass.
if we retrofit it, it's gone.
So you take away all the charm and the historical stuff anyway.
That staircase is windy. We can't have winding staircases anymore. They got to be straight. Where's the elevator going to go? All that stuff has to. Well,
Seems like that makes it
Prohibitive.
part of the reason why some of these buildings just sit because
Well-
it's a huge undertaking to try
One of the
to.
prettiest retrofits I have seen is Westford Town Hall. Westford Town Hall had some illness thing in it. I don't know whether it was asbestos or whatever. So the town decided, look, we're going to have brand spanking new inside, and it's beautiful, but it's not 1,800-year-old stuff that you're looking at on the walls. It's a beautiful job, but it's
They did
2000
that in Kingsborough, the town hall.
2025 style.
And being almost next door to it, all the residents, all the little mice and rats and carpenter ants wanted to find a new home.
Well, I got to tell you, the best thing we ever bought, we have an electronic mousetrap. Oh my God, that thing is great. You put a little peanut butter in it, you got a mouse the next day.
And what did you do with them? Were they all, did it kill them or were they all,
They're dead.
They're deceased in those.
They're dead.
okay, well that's good.
So I take the unit and I spray it with dishwashing stuff. Think
Dawn?
Dawn, probably Dawn, yeah. Spray that in there, let it soak in the sink, then I put it in the dishwasher. And come out of the dishwasher, let it dry for a day, and put it back in action.
Really?
Yep. Because
I have a cat.
when the mouse is dead, it leaves its essence, so other mice ain't gonna go in there.
Oh, really?
So that's why you can't use a mousetrap twice,
I never knew that. I never knew you couldn't use a mousetrap twice.
because its essence is on there. I go, ooh, stay away from
Oh, I
that.
need to give you a heads up. The skunks are out. I know you have one that sometimes I've had a hard time coming in the building, that a resident skunk around
There's a
here.
call, it goes, Linda's coming.
But I have one around my house, I realize.
We have a lot of rabbits.
Oh, the rabbits have been bizarre.
Used to have raccoons, but no more raccoons.
Rabbits have been everywhere. Crazy.
Now, hey, are we gonna get chickens?
Why are they?
But the city council was supposed to approve chickens last night. I wasn't able to
Oh,
watch it,
they should.
and I was
What's-
hoping.
Oh, with the
What's
price of
taking-
eggs?
What's
Danny
taking them
was
so
coming.
long?
But Danny's not.
Well, again, though, with the chickens, which my neighborhood, a lot of them, you bring the rats. You gotta really watch the rats. Because of the feed.
Yep. Well, done properly.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody wants chickens just roaming on, all over the place. If it's done properly,
Well,
which just like anything, I don't know.
out in the country, they move to the country and they think, oh, well, we can have
Mm-hmm.
free-range chickens, and they're wandering. But they don't survive if you have free-range. Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Then the coyotes are so close. And interestingly enough, the fox are beginning to breed now, so they will come near your house,
Oh yeah.
and make a temporary den till their pups are.
I haven't seen the coyotes in Lowell or around me anyway, like we have in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
It seems like the rabbits are up and the coyotes are down.
And it is. It's you know, the chain of life. And
Sure.
I know when I had the office, every so often you'd have a fisher cat, and you could tell whether you heard it or not, because everybody would lose their cats.
Yeah, you don't want a fisher cat around.
Ooh,
Those things are vicious, right?
they're nasty,
Yeah, yeah.
nasty, and
They go after all the small animals.
everybody's cats.
Pets, yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's cat and little dogs, so you have to kind of watch out for. And that's it, you know. Even like I had a little Yorkie. I was terrified of the
Don't let
hawks.
them outside. I know, the hawks. Oh, yeah.
I saw one pick a Yorkie up. It was terrifying, awful. So, you know, we all want to, and as we keep building out, the animals have no place to go, so they have to be around. But anyway, that's sort of, we've gone a long way from firefighting
I know, what a move.
to free-range chickens. Well, that's the other thing. You don't run into that, do you, much when are you running into a lot of animals like that in the buildings?
On the job?
Yeah.
No. Nope.
That's
No, I mean,
in the city.
yeah, every once in a while, you never know what
Two-
people have inside. Saved a hedgehog once,
real. Are you kidding me?
that's an odd one.
Yes.
But yeah, no. I mean, we
Oh,
don't
here
have
comes
too much
Phil
of a.
Shea. I can't even imagine having to go in to save a hedgehog.
Well, he made it. He made it through the fire. Put the fire out, and then didn't. We were like, what the heck was in here? And didn't think anything would have survived. And all of a sudden, saw a little movement. And I'm like,
cute.
what the? Yeah. Pulled the hedgehog out of there. It's funny.
Wow.
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 You do never know what
What people have.
some crazy fish tank or something when you walk in, or you don't know what exactly is in it.
Well, I have a friend that
It
has
can be anything.
two of those
Hey,
big
dog.
dragons. They're 5 feet.
Oh,
that
yeah.
wander around.
Yeah, like a iguana.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're very sporting when you go to visit.
Just like you don't know what's behind every door. I mean, yeah, there
Yeah.
could be any type of animal inside.
It's just, she has quite a menagerie. Are you coming to join us, Phil, or are you gonna?
I gotta close the drapes, so at break.
Oh, we have to have a break. Home run, Linda. My neighbor behind me had chickens that brought in the coyotes. No more chickens. Yeah, it's one of the downsides. I guess we have to go with the price of eggs.
Yeah, you don't just buy chickens, and you know.
No,
I mean,
they look cute.
You gotta have a proper facility for them to
Know how to
stay in and
know
and
how to
stay
raise
safe.
them.
And even when you think they're safe, coyotes or something will get at them if you don't do it the right way. And
As a child, I was in charge of the chickens, and it was not fun. And they're not as stupid as you think. They do they get little behaviors but they're a lot of work. I found them a lot of work as a little kid. So I don't encourage anybody unless you're really into it, like you say. So John is looking at something. Are you going to?
No,
before
I'm still fiddling around with.
Oh, okay.
Technically, you got 3 minutes.
the eggs, I mean, eggs are
They've gotten ridiculous.
nature's vitamins, though. You need them.
I know.
Yeah, you know.
But
We need more eggs.
I can't understand, a lot of this is sort of manipulated, I'm sure, but it's ridiculous. It's just like even butter. You go to one place and it's like $7 a pound. How can that be? I don't understand what kind of butter that would be.
I mean, we've just been. It's still. Everything just went up from COVID, you know.
It never
we
came
shut
down.
when you shut down for multiple years in a row, and you only produce 25% of what you normally would for that long. We're still seeing it.
Well,
It's still affecting us, and then we printed billions and trillions of dollars, and here we are.
And you had
Everything's more
people,
expensive.
they never seemed, I don't understand that they never, like Desi, I don't know if Desi is back to work even now. I don't understand never going, now I know my son went on one of these remotes and he changed. The money was great, but he
They're
said
going back now.
he hated it, the fact that you don't see people, and it's a lot more difficult than people think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, unless you're doing something else. I suppose you can do another job if you're doing.
Some people got a little too cozy post-COVID,
Oh, I guess they did.
sitting at home,
Yeah,
working from home. We got to
Yeah.
go back to reality.
well, most jobs you do. Most jobs. And we're
Almost
supposed to
almost
interact
every
with
job,
people.
you know? If you're a boss, man, yeah, you don't want your employees working from home. I mean, tech jobs, of course, there are things that you can outsource or do from home, but if
Well-
you're trying to run an organization, I mean,
Well, government, I know that everybody wants to take it personally, but I just don't understand all the jobs I had not being able to list what you did last week.
yeah, I know.
I don't think
Yeah.
that that's an unrealistic
When the boss
request.
tells you to do something, and your answer is no, there's something wrong with your management system.
Yeah, or just don't respond. Maybe you're not there. That's the point, I guess. Some people are just not there. But I just don't, and they're saying how mean everybody is. I can't imagine a job I ever had that I didn't have to account to somebody. It's just mind-boggling to me. That unless you work for yourself, I suppose. But even at that, then you don't need it. I mean, you want to make a living, so it's, I imagine you have to account to somebody. It isn't like you can't show up or you can't do, somebody's going to notice if you're supposed to clean that engine or you're supposed to do something, check
Yeah.
this equipment.
The group that works after the day after I work will never fail to blame me for not doing my job.
Yeah,
Whenever you ask somebody at the firehouse, who did this, it's always the group before you.
yeah, of course.
You know?
We're going to go to break, kids. Be right back.
Okay, thank you.
Be good.
Here we go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the ones with us the first hour. I'm Linda Bown. I'm your host. I have Mike Dillon, former school committeeman in Lowell, and fireman. We were talking about all of that. And Phil Shea, senator, rep, city councilor.
Yeah,
And here we are.
has been. Has been.
I want to get you right away on the LRTA.
Right.
And how are the free rides working? Are people?
Well, it seems to be, we have a meeting there Thursday, we'll get another report, and it seems to be just moving along pretty nicely. Keeping in mind that the free ride, we're getting reimbursed from the state to cover those costs, but I'm anxious to see what the report is come tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock, but it seems to be moving in the right direction. I just hope that after the first year of it's an experiment right now, and I just hope at the end of the first year they can continue it, because sometimes you have people count on that transportation to get
Right.
back and forth.
Well, once you start it, that's right.
Yeah, but no, the board, when they voted several months ago for it, I feel very confident that the funding will be there for fiscal 2026.
Now they're talking about this whole. They may be a designated city on this. That when they went up to Toronto and the
Yes,
UN and
yes.
everything.
Right.
Now, I assume that the LRTA would be involved in that. Has there ever been thought to going back to coming into downtown Lowell? You know how the buses all came down onto Merrimack or behind Merrimack? That was wonderful. Instead of having to go over to Thorndike and then go to downtown Lowell.
Well, I mean, the staff over there at the LRTA, they're just a tremendous staff, quite professional, and they're staying on top of everything, and they're always looking for ways to improve the availability of bus service.
Yeah.
So, it's once again, I've been on the board over there now for about 8 years, and I'm pretty impressed with the staffing that we have there. They're real professional.
Well, I can't imagine downtown. We've been talking about downtown for 40 years. I can't imagine that sort of rising from the ashes without the buses going downtown.
Well, I mean, not only the buses going downtown, the buses going by new housing developments, which is essential.
Yeah.
Because parking is not as available. That's probably the wrong selection of words. Most new developments count on bus transportation to move their tenants around the city, and so once again, I think I really believe there's a lot of good things happening in the city. It's taken a while to get to where they got, but where they are, I should say, and I just see a lot of improvement in that what the mayor's working on with the city manager up there in Canada. That's just almost fascinating, and to see Keith Rudy and those that committee to bring back the Golden Gloves.
Yeah.
National Golden Gloves. That happened in 1975. I know the person that was involved in it then, and that's just another tremendous thing for the city. I mean, I'm telling you, it's really impressive.
But when they talk, the governor, God bless her little heart, that wants to put you want to put 34 units or something in Hines with no
Yes.
parking.
Right.
And if you're on the line, then you don't have parking. But I don't see the public transportation. I don't even see it in Boston being that good. That it should be that, they say, they sort of imply that you're going to get to places and people are going to jump on the bus. Well, where are they going to jump on the bus to?
Well, once again, I don't have the answers to all that because I don't have a totality of all the bus schedules. But I can say that all the new development in the city of Lowell, particularly in the last 3 or 4 years, it's pretty impressive. And what's coming on board and what you read about, they're taking vacant land and putting units up. Like I went up, I was on Broadway Street the other day and up there at the old Merrimack Valley Food Center.
Food bank, yeah.
You know, I mean, it's unbelievable, the units they're putting up there. I mean, it's all over the city, so
Yeah.
something good is happening in the city.
Well, now, are they going to be sending buses up to the casino? It's a huge casino going in. Not that I'm excited about that, because all we got is the parking lot in Tingsboro.
Yeah.
But to me, it would seem that that would be something that people would go to and
That's
jump on a bus to go to.
Yeah, it'll be a destination.
Yeah.
I think you and Mike are right. In matter of fact, that's a good reminder. I'll bring that up tomorrow afternoon.
It's opening next week.
Not a bad idea, yeah.
And it is huge. I mean, it's going to be kind of. I mean, I've been to the ones in Nashua, and they're much small, but this is going to be a big thing, and so people are going to need to get there.
Yeah, well, once again, the city is exploding. There's a lot of new residents in the city, and the demands from the city continue to increase, and believe it or not, the demands are being met. I think the city is considering everything that's been thrown at it for the
Yeah.
last 4 or 5
Well, a
years.
nice PR thing, direct run to the casino.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I used to think I could beat Las Vegas 20 years ago. Then I found out after a while, forget about it.
But people still think they can beat it. So.
Forget about it.
I think that's a little better than them doing it online when people can't keep track, and it's very easy to get caught up in that. The betting online, I don't know how that's working out. I don't know how the betting online is working out. I mean, it's
I think it's pretty popular.
yeah. I think it's somewhat a little dangerous too. I think that
I think that to me has always been dangerous. So I'm not too sure if I'm a fan of that. But then
Yeah,
doesn't matter. I think there are some people that don't have the ability to. They just don't have the
well,
ability.
it's an
to
addiction. It's no
control
different
themselves.
than alcohol.
Yeah,
Or,
well, there's a lot of. But I just don't know. I'm a
Well,
$10 better.
they bet on everything.
No question
the
about it.
coin drop, for goodness sakes.
No,
It's
no,
so bizarre to me.
You're right. You're right.
So.
I don't know. I don't have your net worth. Your
Oh,
wealth
right, yeah.
to-
That's
to-
why I'm working at Walgreens.
Yeah, no, I don't have your net worth to, and Mike's substantial pay from the city as a firefighter. I don't have your guys'
Yeah.
availability of cash, so I'm just a retiree.
It's going to be probably heading to the beach soon, now that the weather's getting better.
The only place I may be heading to soon if I don't feel better, a couple of days would be the hospital, because
Oh, it's been terrible.
this bug is just terrible. As I told you and Mike coming in, it's just, and then I discovered that you guys are all familiar with what's going on.
Everybody's
It's
had it.
unbelievable.
Everybody's got
Yeah,
it.
everybody's got it.
Yeah.
I
Like,
finally,
you got to put your time in and get it over with.
yeah.
Now I
That's,
heard that the mayor wasn't feeling good.
no, so I said, thank you for not sharing,
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I mean, he's just, he's kept pretty busy.
Yes, and I think this whole thing of the designated city by the UN is,
Oh my God, it's.
if that happens and comes to fruition, it's
3 months ago, he sat here with us and he was explaining it, and look how much it continues to just move forward.
keep that in the back of your mind to tell them more fire trucks, more fire stations.
I'm skeptical of the whole thing.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I don't know. So
It seems too good to be true,
yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
It seems too good to be true, and it's the large organizations that are involved. I don't think that they're.
I think they're teasing us.
Yeah, no, I think they want good things, but I think they're heading us in. I think it would head us in a direction where we don't want to go. We want to head in a different direction, but we'll see. I don't know. When it sounds too good to be true, it
Might
usually
be.
is.
Yeah. Well, I wish them well. I hope
I
it
don't trust anything coming out of Canada, and I don't trust anything coming out of the major organizations, the nonprofits and the government acting together, I don't think usually turns out well.
Wow.
They'll promise a utopia, but
Well,
Yeah.
we'll
isn't
see
that the truth?
we'll see what the result is. I don't know. I'm obviously hopeful, but I don't know. I start looking at the organizations that are involved and Front Runner City, and I don't have.
We've wanted for so
100%.
long.
I need the mayor to convince me, I guess, maybe.
I guess he, yeah.
I don't
And
know.
he probably too bad he wasn't on today.
Yeah.
But we'll get you he's going to be in next month, so we'll see what we can set up with that. So,
We'll see. I don't know.
what's happening to your party, Phil?
Listen, I've been saying this for 100 years, and I will continue to say it. I'm a Democrat. I will always be a Democrat. The Democrats gave me Social Security, the Democrats gave me Medicare, and the Democrats gave me a place to live when Franklin Roosevelt funded the North Common Village in 1937. So I will always be a Democrat. What's happened to the party, I don't know. My head is spinning, and I'll just say that let's just say that maybe I can say that I'm not a happy Democrat.
Well, I don't understand and they don't seem to be paying attention to the people. The party of the people really isn't the party of the people anymore.
Well, it's just
Because they've thrown us all out anyway, so,
sometimes in this environment, it's best to say nothing,
yeah.
because it's just like, I only can tell you, the only words I can put in formation about what's happening to the party is, my head is spinning,
Yeah.
and I'll leave it like that.
Well, and of course you were involved with the education on the school committee, and
Yeah.
my grandchildren are in Merrimack, where Olson's son is the principal, as a matter of fact. Excellent, and I just see a difference. I see a difference when I see children in Massachusetts versus New Hampshire and the education they're getting. And I don't understand it. I know way back when DeVal Patrick, when they first started we had to dumb down, he said, because we wouldn't get money from the feds. And that started the whole thing, and it just seemed to go on the skids. And be careful what money, when you get the money, it's like when we get a school and they say, we're getting money from the state, we're getting money from, no free money.
Just happened yesterday. Maura Healy,
What happened, Mike?
$100,000 to Lowell Public Schools for this mental health grant. Well, it sounds pretty, but I don't want them implementing any of their mental health stuff in our schools whatsoever. So it sounds nice, and they use the language that is nice. Oh, yeah, $100,000 vague grant title to support mental health efforts. Well, I don't like the mental health efforts that they are implementing in the schools as is. But when you hear that we get $100,000 for a mental health grant and to help the mental standard of our kids in the city and blah blah blah, it sounds pretty, but I don't want those programs still going. I want them to teach my kid how to read. And so that's why we keep getting this like fluff money from Governor Healy that like, oh, thanks, you're going to change the mental health of kids in Lowell with $100,000. You're gonna it's communist crap, that we're gonna keep pushing on them. That social emotional learning.
Well, they're trying to redeem themselves after COVID and the damage that was done, and I don't know how, as you say, they need to go back to, they have to make up the education. Children are resilient. Children will bounce back. So I agree with you kind of on the mental health. They're going to do better than we will, but they've lost academics.
What's going to result from that grant is we're going to pay a nonprofit like Community Teamwork to send in their communist propaganda teacher trainers and have professional development on social emotional learning, which I don't even want my kids being a part of when they're in school. And this is where we're at with DEI. It's the same thing. If you don't understand what they're pushing through DEI, you become one of the people that is, how could you possibly not want diversity, equity, and inclusion? And because those words sound nice, but nothing to do with the programs that they are pushing are positive for the community whatsoever, and don't have anything to do with diversity, the true definitions of those words.
No, because you have it
They
already.
just say pretty words, and you can't disagree with it. And so, like, everybody's like, oh, Maura Healey, great, thanks for the $100,000 for mental health. And I'm sitting there like, no, that's terrible. It's not for mental health. It's to give to a nonprofit to come in and do professional development for our teachers that they don't need, and I don't want them to have when they're teaching my kids anyway. But people can't question it because it's for mental health, it's for the kids, and that's where we're at with the DEI stuff.
I don't
You
understand.
say cut all DEI programs, and people think that, we don't want people to be equal, and we don't want diversity, and no. We don't want the programs that they call diversity, equity, and inclusion programs because they're based off of very radical and harmful communist ideas.
Well, again, you've got a city that's been inclusive. The schools, there are, 57 different languages.
Yeah.
They've been inclusive with all kinds of refugees, which is a good thing. So how can they say the city isn't already diverse? It's one of the most diverse cities in the state, and they've handled it. I think the teachers, and I don't know how they teach with all those different languages. To be perfectly honest, it must be mind-boggling. But I just getting all the children to read and write and be able to do math is.
It's stunning.
It is. So I agree with you. Can't we focus on the basics? Because children are resilient. You watch them and they just, and I just don't see, now maybe, I don't.
It's where the money is for the nonprofits.
Of course it is. I know that.
If there's not a large enough supply of racism or mental health needs, they'll just create one.
I tell the story when I was at CTI, and it was way back when Jimmy Carter was president, and the first energy grant money came for oil. I wrote the first program. It was for $19,000 to give oil to residents in the Lowell area. $900 went for oil for residents in the Lowell area. Out of the 19,000, 900.
Yeah.
And so the next grant I wrote, I eliminated the administrative costs, and I obviously didn't work at CTI after that. That was my demise. But that is one of the problems. It all goes to administration. And it's heartbreaking because there is a need. And we all think, we're sitting here, like you say, we want to believe that using the money, it's like we're hearing about all these people, these companies and organizations that are sending money, giving money to, thinking it's going to the people in Haiti or wherever. And how can the money get to the people if you send it to a corrupt government? It doesn't even make any sense. When we have when we have people in North Carolina that are living in tents in the snow, something's wrong with the system. And I think most of us want to fix it. We don't want it to go on. We want the people in North Carolina to be helped. They've worked all their lives.
Yeah, it's just, it was terrible the way people were treated last September.
Yes, John.
I'm going to do the announcements. And here they go. If you want an announcement on City Life, just send it to me somehow. Text me, call me, whatever. That's my contact information, and be happy to put it out there. Today is the 26th of February. 7 days a
Hard to
week,
believe.
Lowell Senior Center has lunch, breakfast, 7 days a week. So today, if you want to go over there, you're going to get American Chop Suey. That's today. Wednesday, the 26th of February, and you go in there around 10:30. Go in the front door. Gal sitting at the desk is Tara, nice friendly gal. And if you got $2, give her $2. She'll give you a ticket. If you don't have the $2, well, we'll let you eat for free. You still get a ticket. And 10:30, go in and sit in the great room. Sit down with a bunch of old timers like yourself. The only rule is you got to be over 60. And we don't care if you live in Boston. We don't care if you live in Tingsboro. Everybody's welcome to the senior center for lunch. So hope to see you over there today. Moving right along.
Looks pretty good. I mean,
Yeah, it's good
I'm
feedback
over
over there.
65, I could go.
Are you playing in the basketball game?
Moving right along, the Kids and Disability Sports versus Lowell Fire basketball game at March 1st at the Maury School. That's all I know
Oh my
about
God,
this.
that's beautiful.
That'll be fun.
That's sad.
It's changed actually to the Bailey School, John. Just
Oh.
FYI. There was an
So
issue.
I'm just going to delete
Sorry.
this
There was
because
an
this
issue
got
with
sent to
the.
me and I just put it out there and
No, it was just an issue with the Maury School gymnasium. I think it's changed to the Bailey for
Good to know.
FYI.
delete this. That'll get deleted today. Okay, Mark Crabman running for re-election
good
out
luck,
in
Mark.
Tewksbury. You're cordially invited to a meet and greet reception. Committee to elect Mark Crabman, Tewksbury Select Board, Wednesday, March 5th, 2025, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tasty Spot, TJ Callahan's 1475 Main Street out in Tewksbury. Every Thursday.
Oh, there you are,
The
Phil.
Golden Gloves, every Thursday. Great event, a lot of fun. Bring your grandkids. It's not expensive. And you can show them how boxing works. And you see a lot of old friends. It's like a high school reunion when you go down there. Always a good time. Every Thursday night through March 6th. Doors open at 6 p.m. And they've been doing this almost 80 years. So congratulations. Always a good time for the Golden Gloves. St. Patty's Day Breakfast. State Rep Rodney Elliott and the Bridge Club of Greater Lowell present St. Patrick's Day Breakfast honoring Tom Shanahan.
Oh, wow.
Heavy Quinn Irish
I'm
dances.
going to that.
Comedian Dave Russo, Saturday, March 15th, 9 a.m. Tickets are $50 a person, $500 a table. Lindsay's, 810 Merrimack Avenue in Drake. Contact Bob Cox, and his phone number's right down there. Also, if you take your smartphone over to your screen and you zero in on this icon right here, it's called a QR code. It'll bring you to a website that you'll find pretty helpful.
Excellent cause.
Yes, it is. And the Tewksbury Senior Center Health Fair is April 9th. So if you're not feeling tip-top, be in touch with Susan Timmons. Same rule, you just got to be over 60. You can live in Timbuktu or you can live in Tewksbury. They'd love to see you, so contact Susan Timmons if you want to go to this. And she can tell you a little bit more about it. And that's coming up on April 9th. Danielle McFadden, she's running for school committee. The committee to elect Danielle McFadden invites you to Danielle McFadden Lowell School Committee Candidate at Large campaign kickoff April 3rd, 2025, 5 to 8 p.m. That's up at Mount Pleasant, up on the Highlands, 141 Staple Street. Be there or be square. And that's our last announcement for the day. Back to you, Linda.
Going to announcements, there's going to be a St. Patrick's Day dinner at the Sportsman's Club on St. Patrick's Day, 4 to 8.
I'm gonna go dig that. I don't know where it went. You sent that to me, right?
Yeah, I'll send it again. I'll be bartending probably, so hope to see you all there. It's going to St. Jude and Children's Hospital. All the funny. So, and Phil, you fought in the Golden Gloves, didn't you? In your past,
I won the Golden Gloves.
you won the Golden Gloves. Did you really?
Right,
See,
1959.
that's
Amazing.
impressive.
I was a senior in high school.
No kidding.
Right.
Nice.
Who would have thought, huh? Good for you.
Yeah, I've got my boxing lessons at the Lowell Boys Club.
Now, do you still go to the Golden Gloves?
No, I was in the novice championship, the novice and open. Novice is for the more or less guys under 10 fights. But no, that's Yeah, the silver mittens, the golden gloves.
Yeah.
We all fought in those things.
They were a big deal back. I know.
Well, a big deal. It's a big deal today. I mean,
I'm glad to
I
see
had-
that that's coming
I had
back.
2 tickets. I bought 2 tickets for 2 weeks ago to go, and I couldn't go.
Oh,
Oh, it's a big thing. I mean,
yeah.
but the Golden Gloves coming to Lowell is like, they came to Lowell in '75. It's a big thing.
So how long does that go on? The Golden Gloves? What?
When they come up here,
Yeah.
it
No.
probably goes on for about 4 days. They have 2 rings in the auditorium, and it goes on for like four afternoons and 4 evenings, and it's pretty. It's pretty impressive.
Are you still involved with the wrestling?
No, I haven't been. I haven't gotten back to it. Once I was involved with the school committee, I stepped away really, and I haven't been able to get back. Every day, there's parts of every day where I wish I was on a wrestling mat, but I get
Well, you've got
too much
4
going on.
children.
that
I mean,
I can't even. Yeah, I can't even get to a practice, and I'd love to, but no. So I haven't been. My brother's very heavily involved. He runs the little youth team. So.
oh, okay. Because I know someone in the Westford.
Oh, nice.
That he's got 4 boys, and he's bringing them. He's putting them all as they
Yeah, yeah.
reach the ages.
No, that's awesome.
I got a bunch of texts I'm going to
Vengrin.
roll through here. Mike is so right. Oh, that's a good one to start off with.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'd be interested to hear which part.
The parents bear some responsibility for the actions of kids today. Our parents made us accountable for our actions. Very true. Why on posted goal? I think that's why no posted goal with grants for mental illness. I don't know. Well, the government just gives money and doesn't tell people what the goal should be.
No, they don't even have to help.
It's become a snowflake society. Everyone gets a trophy. How does the senator feel about Mayor Wu, Boston Police Department Commissioner Cox, and Governor Healy pushing against the border czar Tom Coleman? Are we a state that harbors dangerous illegal criminals? And that's the last text. Thanks.
Mayor Wu is supposed to have her day next week, I think, right? In front of Congress.
Yeah, I think. I laugh when I see.
She's gonna have to explain herself.
No, she's going to have the flu.
Yeah,
I
should probably be wise to have the flu that day. I would hope.
yeah. I
Phil, you got any thoughts on Boston politics?
Only what I read, and I, it's believe it or not, for me, John, and maybe not for you, but for me, it's pretty complicated to understand how it's okay for some cities in the country to cooperate, and it's not okay for other cities. I don't know if Mayor Wu is making. For someone that went to Harvard Law School and graduated top of her class, she's very bright intellectually, but I kind of wonder if she's made the right decisions here. But like Linda just said, she's going to appear before Congress. It'll be interesting to see her points of view, or listen to her point of view on the subject matter, because, I mean, if you got a criminal in the country. A criminal is bad enough, but to be in the country illegally, I mean, what more should we have to do to ask him to leave?
I don't understand that.
Yeah, so I just, I kind of just, once again, I told you 32 minutes ago, my head is spinning. That's all I can say, and I don't talk. I very seldom, Linda, you've known me for 45 years. I've always talked politics, not anymore. I just keep, because I just take the point of view that everyone's entitled to their thinking and their conclusions, and I let it go like that, because you'd be surprised how angry some people get.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't believe it all, because it's like, I know I'm an old timer, but Jesus, I mean, what the hell's going on? But that's how I look at it. But then Mayor Wu, that'll be an interesting, I think Mike indicated she's going to testify before Congress. And you know, she's nobody's fool. She's a bright lady. And so it'll be interesting to see what she has to say publicly.
Well, particularly where she has an election coming up, which is going to...
And the police chief, I don't know. I think he's got some explaining to do too. But then again, he works for the mayor.
Well,
So it's just a big. It's not. I don't know. At that point, I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to just keep my thoughts to myself and see how
Safer.
see how it builds out.
Keith Rudy in the audience this morning, he says, if Phil would like to attend the Golden Gloves this week or next, please be in touch with
Yeah.
Keith Rudy. Thanks.
see, they'd like to have you there, Phil.
Keith will hook you up.
Well, God bless him.
Oh, I love
It's
Keith.
funny, I may take him up on it. I know there's 2 more fights. I had 2 great seats too, and I thought I gave them away to somebody, and they didn't, and they were sick also. But you know, take Keith Rudy. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember him when he barked.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
He was one tough son of a gun.
yeah.
And where did he get his boxing? If I'm not mistaken, I think he got his boxing training from the Low Boys Club. I mean, he was just he was a tough guy. Jackie Brady, those guys are tough.
Keith Rudy's one of the most reasonable men I ever met in my life.
Who?
Keith Rudy.
Oh, yeah, I mean-
Smart, got a lot of wisdom, and when he speaks, you should listen.
No, he's really and he works the Board and Park Commission, and
Real asset.
he's approachable. He's a union guy. He's an acre guy. Go on and on and on. There's so many good things you can say, but the National Golden Gloves are coming here because of Danny Rourke and Keith Rudy and Tommy Golden, the city manager.
Well, I like to see what's happening with the baseball in the city, and what they've done with it, and they've brought it back. They've literally brought it back,
Yeah.
and what they're doing with parks. I was not in favor of. I've said this often, that of the change of government role, but boy, I've changed my mind seeing what the individual councilors have done for the parks and the neighborhood parks, and making them viable, and having people can enjoy them now, except for South Common.
City Council they've done wonders in the last 8 to 10, 12 months, from my point of view anyhow.
So that there were a lot of good things. I agree with Mike, and as far as I just wish that the programs would have to be accountable and show some results. They keep giving money to the nonprofits, and there is a need, no question about it. Show me what you've done to help the people. They don't have to produce any results. They just say, "Oh, it's bad out there," right? Yeah.
2 comments from the audience. Every citizen in Boston should leave that city, especially if you have a mayor that doesn't care about your safety. Next one. Will Mayor Wu have her child on her shoulder during the hearing? Kraft most likely will defeat her. Interesting comments. Back to you guys.
That's going to be an interesting election. But, I mean, I'm all for everybody having that. And Phil will say we've been together in politics for a very, very long time. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And if you will listen to people, you learn something, and you may get something done. But when your point of view is putting me in danger and my children in danger, I have a problem with that.
I had
Setting fire to people in the
I had a mutual
trains
friend of ours. I had a mutual friend of ours, Linda, asked me a week or so ago. He said, "Phil, what do you think about Mayor Wu's re-election chances against Mr. Kraft?" And my response then, and I still think it's correct today, is don't underestimate her.
Really?
Yeah. And not
Well,
only that,
I'll take that.
not
I'll
only
take
that,
that to
but
the
make a
bank.
note of that. But I also want to tell you something else. In the history of politics in Boston, in the history of Boston politics, a mayor running for re-election has never lost.
Are you kidding me?
You go look it up.
I will. That's
And if
interesting.
I'm wrong, I owe you breakfast, but
Okay.
but I
Oh,
think
promises,
I'm right. But,
promises.
No, I
Okay.
just think that city's a different city.
Well,
you know,
that's
you go
true.
to East Boston, it's one thing. You go to South Boston, it's another thing. But then you move out into the Fenway and you move up to Christian. That's an unbelievable city, and she's a woman. Yeah,
Yeah, but
toughest
things have
candidate.
changed. You know, people. I know that, but the attitude in the country is, I think things have gone too far.
Yeah,
And-
well,
You might be
I-
underestimating Boston, though.
yeah.
I don't think Wu. I think people have every reason not to vote for her, but I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if she wins
Yeah,
easily.
I just don't.
I mean,
I don't
that-
think she's going to be a pushover.
Yeah.
Well, no,
And-
I don't
and-
think anything.
and
I
she-
think it's
and-
very volatile. Everything.
Yeah, and she's done some real stupid things.
Mm.
But I'm going to end it there because I'm going way too deep into it now.
She's got a lot of support still, though.
No question
I
about it.
like, you know,
Hey, the
I wouldn't be
police union,
surprised
the
if
fire
she pulled
union
it off
just
again.
endorsed her.
Really?
Yeah, in Boston.
That is pathetic. There's
Police
no.
union just endorsed her.
The police union needs to elect new union
Oh,
representatives.
wow.
If that's
just
the
telling
case.
you.
So
Wow.
they're supporting
I believe you. I'm just
being a
surprised.
sanctuary city.
Oh, wait a second. What letter
don't
does
know what
Kraft
this-
have after his name? Is he independent? Is he Democrat? Is he Republican? Kraft.
Correct?
I don't even know.
Don't have
She
to
run
be a
it-
party.
Oh, it
to run-
doesn't. No. They will tell you if you're an atheist or a religious person just by what letter you have after your
He
name.
just,
Mm-hmm.
I think he was a Republican. He just switched to Democrat. You know,
To run?
it's not going to be an easy fight for Kraft.
No, it's not.
And-
Oh, I wouldn't say it's
And
easy.
it's a fight. It's a fight that he probably should win, but I'm hesitant.
Phil, if you could marry up to that microphone a little closer, we could hear you a little bit better.
Yeah.
Move a little closer.
Pushes
Perfect,
mine
thank you.
away, pushes yours closer.
I don't know. Listen, I can't tell you who's going to be my city councilor in Belvedere. So how the hell do I know it's going to happen down in Boston?
Well, it's all changed.
It's
It's quite a different,
a different state, guys. I mean,
Yeah.
my brother lives in Kentucky. He died and went to heaven, he told me. 20 years ago, he moved out. Retired. Worked
Yeah.
in the prison.
Well, Phil, I'll tell you,
I
sadly,
said, what'd you
I'm
leave
telling-
Lowell for? Lowell's a great city. He
I'm
said,
telling
"I
the
left
younger
Lowell because
generation,
there's
move.
too many
Move to New
liberals in
Hampshire.
Lowell. That's what he said.
Move to New Hampshire.
What's that, Johnny?
That's what I'm telling the younger generation. Move to New Hampshire. This is not getting better.
Yeah, well,
When we have, and I know you support the manager, and I don't blame you, but when we have a manager that disenfranchises his city council to a point where they don't know you're voting for no parking at Heinz's Tavern property. You're voting for that, and that's the law. And you had the option to say, no, 2 parking spaces per
Right.
unit. And they voted for it thinking, well, we were told it's the law. When it was, you were disenfranchised, you were not given the information you should have gotten, and that's what city councils are putting into my ear about that issue. How many other things? Did you ever hear that our computers, city local computers got hacked? Big secret. Shh, don't tell. What other stuff don't we know about? How many cops are suing the city over different issues? City council, I haven't heard anything on that. We have a secret squirrel meeting every other week. Doesn't he tell you anything? But we gave him an extension on his contract. Good job.
well, I think the parking is a real issue with the,
How can you
again,
park in the snowbanks?
it's like the 40B. They don't have to meet the same regulations.
And I'm surprised the fire chief hasn't said, look, we have to make a lot of streets temporarily one way. Because you can't go 2 ways down the street.
It's been brutal. Last week, before we got this good melt,
what street
driving
was
down
bad,
the-
John? Mike?
and a lot of places in the Highlands where I was driving, for sure. I mean, just with the snow, every snowbank was frozen.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
and,
right. It was
I'm
pretty-
sure you noticed it in your car if you were driving in a car, but in the fire truck, it's like, heightened, I guess, the the need to make it one way.
Yeah.
If I was driving down the street, the cars are coming the other way, they had to figure
Back
out a
up.
way to get out of the way, a lot of times. And the snowbanks were ice, so everything was like wanted to push you.
And that's frightening
right
to me
into the center of
because
the road. It was tough.
you're trying to save somebody's home or even somebody's pet or
Oh,
somebody.
boy, yeah.
You know, you want them to be able to get there as quick as possible.
Seconds mean everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
The streets, it just froze over, right?
Yeah, it's just tough with the snow, and then the really cold temperatures that we had for like a week or two just froze all the snow piles in where they were. And there are times when there's snow out there, the fire trucks are so big that you can push through a snowbank, or like
Yeah.
kind of like you get a little give. But when they froze solid, you can't drive up over them, and they make the turns. Everything is just much tighter on streets that are already kind of small.
could the fire department, the union, and the chief go to the I don't even know if it's possible. Go to the council and like during the winter, request temporary one-way streets so that
I guess.
I would
but,
think the public
mean,
would want it. I mean,
I don't know.
You want the fire department. It's just like in Tingsboro, but none of our fire hydrants work. But that's not the fire department with us. It's the one.
I don't know how
Break it one.
practical it would be because it doesn't. It only makes sense for short periods of time. If you just did it all, if you said all winter, when there's no snow ground on the ground, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It would really have to be a temporary, like day to day.
Well, it's going to get worse though if they don't have to have parking in these buildings.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, well, I mean,
I'm going to blast through these. The manager doesn't care. If he did, he would get on this fine program. That's from Jay. Kraft is a Dem.
Oh.
Thank you for that update. Kraft is from the money party. That's what is giving him a fighting chance.
Oh.
Last one. It's good to see Mike back speaking the truth. That's from Carla Miller.
Hi,
Back to you
Colin.
guys. Thank
Glad
you.
to see Carl watching.
thanks, Carla.
John, I'd like to just add an addendum to Kraft as a Democrat.
Please do.
I'd like to just add a couple of other, he became a Democrat 10 days ago. Thank you.
Is that right?
To run.
I
That
don't
means
know.
he's got no pension?
He didn't even live in Boston.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's got a condo down on the North End. Okay, he bought it a couple of months
Well,
ago.
then that changes
He
the whole.
wasn't a Democrat.
That goes back to the Paul Songus days.
he's a
I saw
Democrat.
Paul Songus move in to the district on a Saturday night after the low sun caught him, put his pants down. I watched him move in to the house on the corner
Up the street.
that weekend.
But
Yeah.
where did he come from?
I didn't. Politicians don't take questions.
Oh, come on, John.
That's a long time ago, but moving into the district.
You're frustrated. I've known you for 40 years. You're frustrated. You know why? Because you really want to be like Mike and me and Linda, a former politician. You want to be part of our club.
I'm considering it.
No, look at you.
I'm considering it.
See, listen to him.
No, I've been listening
When
to
you
him.
run a business, though, let me just tell you, I know firsthand, and you do as well. It affected yours. When you really have to be dedicated and wanted because they
Well, Linda.
hate you.
Linda,
They hate you. I don't
Linda,
understand hating.
This is where it's at, okay?
Johnny.
The city blows every dime we give them. The city we're a poor city. Lori, send us money.
All
So
government does.
the federal people send us a ton of dough. Wheelbarrow full of dough comes to Lowell because we're poor. The state sends a smaller wheelbarrow, but still a wheelbarrow full of dough. Then we're taxed
He's beautiful.
taxed to the daylights with the real estate taxes, meals tax, got all that stuff. The city blows all that money and then borrows more. That's the environment we live in. The city does not live within its means. And it hasn't for a long time. And the city council goes like, let's extend his contract. I just don't think we should.
So we want to be Cambridge.
Yes.
We're not.
Lowell's always wanted to be Cambridge.
Look at the taxes that Cambridge rolls
I
in.
know.
And they're industrial people. They're business people.
Well, that's just it.
That's
You have
what
to
I'm
bring,
saying.
and how are you ever going to bring business to all with that split tax rate? I'm sorry, if I were opening a business
Right.
and I'm looking in the area and I go, oh, Tingsboro, Tewksbury, Chelmsford, I can go for the same tax rate, but if I go to Lowell, I'm going to pay double? That's laughable. I don't know what business would want to do that. And you get no services. You don't even get trash pickup. Welcome to Lowell as a business. That doesn't seem very encouraging to me. Just saying.
It's nice,
Probably out of
it's nice
line.
if you're a nonprofit, though.
Well, you don't pay any taxes, that's right. And, I love the university, but they gobbled up a lot of private property. So it's
Yeah,
and they don't pay taxes. And the hospital doesn't pay taxes. And now you only have one hospital, that's another. The healthcare is a whole other story I can go
sure
on a
is.
You always
tirade
have
about.
to ask, what do the people in administration, what's their salaries? It's public information. And publish that. The last guy who ran Lowell General Hospital was making $3 or $4 million a year.
I don't blame I'm going to tell you, John, I
Say that
blame the
again.
voters. They don't question anything.
Say that again, how much?
The last guy who ran Lowell General Hospital, now it's Tufts, I don't know what the Tufts guy makes, was making between $3 and $4 million a year.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And the board of directors were like, let's give him a raise. Come off it. So I'm going to press a button here, put the
Is that
comments up.
Jody? I
Not a
think that
bad
was
job
Jody
if you
White.
can get it.
That's,
So what does it mean, the senator mean part of what club?
I don't even
Next
know.
text says, the government,
Oh, being
no government lives within
ex-politicians.
their means. Good point.
You're right about that. You're absolutely right. And they're all upset because Musk is trying to bring everybody into line. They always ask us, just let us know what you did last week.
Not hard.
Now, Phil, you worked for the state. Would that be a problem if Bill Galvin sent a notice out to all the employees of in the Secretary of State's office and said, just tell me 5 things you did last week?
Yeah.
How hard is that?
I don't know. I kind of think that might be an overreaction. I mean, what the hell? I did this, I did that, I did this, and I did that, and emailing in.
Just
I don't
make
know.
it up even.
Once again, I can't get into presidential politics, okay? Because, no, it's just like, I mean, I do think this. If you watch some of the things coming out, your head spins. Say, what do you mean they spend $20 million for this or that? I mean, I don't know. I mean, if people aren't unhappy what they're seeing and hearing, well, then I don't know at what level you get them to be unhappy, because it's almost incredible, some of the stuff I'm seeing.
Well, I think the people spoke pretty emphatically. I'm going to ask Mike. Mike, you're a...
Great show today. Thanks, Senator Shea and Mr. Dillon, for coming
Oh,
in.
man.
Yes,
Thank you.
and getting up in this horrible weather. Big issue. Men playing in women's sports.
Oh, my God, now don't get me going on that one.
Well, you have 4 girls, and as a woman, I'm out of my mind because Title IX. I worked very, very hard all my life to get Title IX, and they've slapped me right in the face with it.
Oh, it's terrible.
I don't understand it.
No, there's no, you don't understand.
What do you do about your daughters?
You don't understand it because there's not an ounce of justification to let a biological man participate in women's sports, period. I cannot imagine anyone taking a different point of view, but unfortunately, there's a lot of people taking.
Well, Maine, let's see what happens with the governor of
Oh,
Maine.
it's just terrible. And I have granddaughters. One was a tennis champion in New Hampshire, Bishop Girton. Another one plays basketball in Florida, down in Rhode Island. But the bottom line is, how can you tolerate a man participating in a woman's sport? I mean, is everybody gone crazy?
Yes.
Okay, but that's the echo chamber.
And everybody, the worst part about it all is all the pressure is on the young females that are involved in this to say
man.
no. And people won't
Stand
won't
behind
step
them.
up and say no themselves, coaches and, parents. And
Where's the women? Where is Gloria Steinem, for God's sakes? Where are all the women?
we're leaving it up to the young
Children,
female
that's right.
athletes to
Awful.
stand up against it themselves,
Oh,
while
man.
everybody around them, all the adults, tell them that no, it's okay. We're leaving it up to them to say no. And I have 4 girls,
Right.
and I spend my time advocating for strong young men because I'm the strong man in their life, and I'm not going to be around forever.
Right.
And I want to know that there are good, strong. There's always going to be bad men. There's going to be bad men forever. Well, the only way to keep bad men away is to have more strong, good men around. And
Well said.
so when people ask me about girls' sports and all, or girls in general, I advocate for strong men because that's my biggest concern for my girls.
Yeah.
And the irony for me is like when I was in a phys ed college program in 2003, and I was writing papers against Title IX because, Title IX, the broad strokes of that law coming in hurt men's sports in a lot of ways, and a lot of men's sports were canceled back at that time. And
It's interesting.
especially the smaller sports, schools would just assume cut a wrestling program or a men's gymnastics program in order to meet the quota, instead of just adding female sports. You could meet those quotas either way. You could cancel men's sports, and so I wrote papers bashing Title IX in 2003, and now we're in 2025, and I'm backing the train up and saying, hold on a minute, wait about what about Title IX? Because any of this type of trans issues with, you can just claim that you're a woman and play women's sports. It's like, hold on a minute. Where are all the feminists
I agree.
saying, we spent all these years fighting for women's rights,
Right.
and now we're telling women to screw. And this is where all the communist ideas come in. It's like you can only be the most vulnerable group for so long before you just get kicked to the curb.
Well, I'm very proud of the young women athletes that have stepped up, and I know it hasn't been easy for them.
Mm-hmm.
They've been really thrown to the curb, but shame on the coaches, and it has to be devastating to spend your and I appeal to these people that don't you remember when you were a kid and you were playing baseball or soccer or whatever sport you played, and how exciting it was that you succeeded in that field, and or if your sister was a success, and then to go to the Olympics and have a man beat you, break your jaw, for goodness sakes, it's unacceptable. I'm sorry, it's just unacceptable.
Oh, I think it helped get Trump elected.
And they used, I know
Yeah,
nationally, they
for
used,
sure.
one of the examples was in Lowell, with I think it was volleyball, that a girl got hurt. And the coach took him off the.
That was at the chartered school.
Yeah, the coach.
We are in light and fluffy time, though. Like, to be positive, like, the young kids, the kids that are in high school and age and like down now, they don't believe this crap as much as I think maybe we think they do. Once they get to college and they get, the activist is pushed on them. The activist program is pushed on them like full speed. The high school kids don't. They think this is all crap. Also,
Well-
they're a little bit more, and I've been realizing that recently, that they're putting
Gotta
it
have
together.
faith in
They're
them.
like, we don't believe in that stuff.
Yeah.
I think they're a little bit more perceptive on it than we give them credit for, which is positive to see.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Well, I know my son is your age, and he has a daughter, and so it has certainly made him pay attention. And
Well, it gets to the point where it's like so close to a circus that you can't help but say, "Wait a minute," This
Yeah.
is
Tomorrow
silly.
City Life, Evelyn Thorne's the host, Bobby Hoey's going to be here, John Moses is coming,
yeah.
and Sam Chase. And the
Oh,
last
good.
comment of the day
Bobby.
wants to know, do we have any donuts? Great debate today, comrade. Any donuts?
no donuts, no. We're all very fit here.
Oh,
So,
God bless.
I want to thank both of you for coming in. It certainly has been an interesting. It's
No.
always interesting when I have Mike. I've missed him.
No, I think it's
glad they're well.
It's nice to see Mike again, and of course, Linda. It's always a pleasure seeing you. I guess I'll be seeing you at the Rodney
Yeah.
event. Yeah, I got a text from him this morning, telling me sent me a free ticket. I told him I already got a ticket.
Is that
Yeah.
the comedy show?
No, it's
The St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's breakfast in the
Yeah, I
morning.
thought there was a Dave.
Yes,
Dave
there are.
Russo,
Yes,
the comedian.
yes,
He's good.
Supposedly a very good
He's
comedian.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
I think he's the guy that wears the scally cap and
Funny guy.
He does De Niro, and he's brilliant.
Well, it's a great cause. Now there's a nonprofit that they show results. How hard is it?
Yeah.
They show results, and it proves to me it can be done.
That's what a nonprofit
It's supposed to do.
in all our minds. That's what a nonprofit's supposed to be, right?
And we like to think that, but
Yep.
it's an amazing organization, and anybody that can support it, please do, because they do have results.
Say goodbye. kids.
Thank you so much for coming in this morning.
you.
Thank you for watching.
We'll see you
always a pleasure being with you, John.
Same here, Phil. Thank you.
Bye.